This incident happened to me just a few hours earlier. I'm typing this story currently at my workplace. I work in the garden area of a home improvement store. I don't work at the cash registers, and my manager doesn't even let me water the flowers, so a lot of times I have nothing to do. This results in me taking extremely long bathroom breaks where I just scroll on my phone. I know it sounds bad, but it's better than standing around just trying to look busy. Today was the same as any other, with me wasting time in the bathroom. Nothing of interest happened until my work phone buzzed at the same time as the stall next to mine. This becomes important later. A few seconds later, I see that the guy in the next stall had his hand stretched to the ground with his palm facing up. I at first thought he had run out of toilet paper and was asking for mine. He just stayed silent for a while, so I ignored him after that. Then he started moving that hand uncomfortably close to my leg, so I immediately scooted away and prepared to leave. Once the man noticed that, he hurriedly got out of his stall before I could leave. Another few seconds of silence. I took a peek out of the gap of the stall door to see what the hell he was doing, and just like a scene of a horror movie, our eyes connected. He was barely an inch away from my door, trying to peek inside. My blood ran cold. If you're wondering why I didn't immediately open the door and cuss the guy out, I really hate confrontation. I avoid it whenever possible, and I do my best not to draw attention to myself. I stood sideways by the door so he wouldn't be able to see me. That's when the whispering started. I don't know what the first thing he said was, but it sounded like moaning. The next part was a bit more audible. He said something along the lines of wanting to see more of my unflushed toilet paper, and I was thoroughly disgusted. This guy was a complete creep, and I was alone in the bathroom with him. My heart was beating faster by the second. I knew I had to stay there until another person came into the bathroom. No way was I going to confront him alone. Probably a minute later, someone finally arrives, and I take this chance to wash my hands and get the hell out of there. Thankfully, the presence of another person made the old man quit his creepy behavior. As I was about to leave, he blocked my path for a quick second before stepping aside. The weird thing was, I didn't even think he worked at the store because he wasn't wearing any vest. My store was extremely lenient about uniform, but most workers wear at least a vest or something connected to the store. He just looked like a regular customer. I'm certain I heard the phone dings echo in that bathroom. The phones have a signature ring to them, so it couldn't have been a coincidence. Either way, he only started creeping on me once the phone ring made it clear that I was an employee. The situation really creeped me out, and I've been totally unfocused on my work since then. I kept prowling the garden area to look out for any old man wearing a similar outfit to the creeper. I have an incredibly hard time distinguishing faces, so I probably won't even recognize him even if I did see him. To keep a long story short, my ex-best friend Alyssa and I were friends for almost 7 years. We had a good and healthy relationship. She was my ride or die. We did everything together, but we slowly started to drift away when I exchanged schools. We saw each other after school, so it was cool. Well, a year passed and I started to notice Alyssa hanging with the wrong crowd, and I didn't want any part of it. I started to notice how Alyssa would pick on me about my appearance and clothing, but she used to dress like me. We used to be drifted with anime merch, but ever since she started to hang out with more mature college people, she changed. She would constantly tell me I'm fat, ugly, or nobody loves me, all that type of stuff. And my last straw was when she called my family poor. I lost it because my family had helped her with financial problems and even gotten them out of debt. So I stopped being friends with her and I started to hang out with new people and I get to know myself more. I have had more a new best friend and everything was great, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched from every corner. I always felt like someone was there, but I ignored it. Months passed and I still can't shake the feeling of being watched, and that's when stuff started to happen. My car would end up keyed, my tires were popped most of the time, and weird letters I had to decipher started to show up in my front porch, but I'm dumb and decided to ignore the problems. A year later, I decided to hang out with some old friends from the group, and that's when I found out everything. Alyssa was the one doing those things to me, and every letter she sent to me was a death threat. My friend Tori, who witnessed everything, told me how Alyssa would stalk me and get mad that I replaced her with a guy. That's not what creeped me out. Turns out Alyssa copied everything. I got a 2018 Nissan Sentra, and she got the same car. Inside my dashboard on my car, I have My Hero Academia figures and South Park figures, and she went as far as to get the same type of figures online and put them on her dashboard. She would wake up at 6 a.m., drive to my house, and wait for me to wake up, and get out of the house so she could follow me. She tried adding my friends on social media and tried to convince them to leave me for her because she's a better friend than me. She even got the same clothes as I did. According to Tori, when she would visit Alyssa at her house, Alyssa would have the same anime posters. I didn't believe her at first until she showed me pictures. Everything was the same, as if Tori was seeing double of everything. Lucky for me, Alyssa was forced to move up north with her father. Her grandma kicked her out of the house and everything went back to normal. For now. I'm just scared when she comes over for the holidays, she would start to stalk me again. I'm really freaking out right now. A demon haunts me on my dream. I did see his face, and the sight of him makes my hair crawl from the back. Normally, I rarely have a sleep paralysis on my nights, probably once every 5 months, but for the past few weeks, it happened to me once or twice. I'm not even a religious person. I don't even believe in angels and demons. My family are deeply religious, except me, because I'm kinda skeptical. And this week, I had a sleep paralysis twice, and I saw the demon's face in my dream. And what I see was the most terrifying thing I ever saw. Like, I want to cry right now. His body was pure grayish black, buff and 6 foot tall. His jawline was standing out, black pupils and deep curly hair. In multiple accounts they say demons have horns, but this one didn't. And what stands out the most is that he had black scaly wings, probably 20 feet if he expanded it on both sides. In my dream, I was standing in a doorway, and there was a bathroom outside. It was open, but inside was pitch black. Then suddenly he appeared out of nowhere right at the doorway of the bathroom. He was smiling at me, and he gestures his hands that I should come to him. Then quickly I was pulled from him. I did run away as fast as I can, but he's pulling me really hard. That makes everything slow in motion. Then suddenly I woke up in my bed, and quickly noticed that my body went on a straight position, like I was in a coffin. And what was more terrifying, it was 3:10 a.m. in the morning. I heard people say it was a devilish hour. I knew one encounter was the most terrifying thing, but I toughed it out that night and go to the kitchen without even bothering to open the lights to get a drink, and I head back to sleep without thinking about it. But I know I was still scared about it. I just hide it inside my head. Then after 2 days, that night I couldn't sleep again. It was early in the morning, probably 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep on my bed. I just quickly head off to the living room and lay on the couch while I was playing on my phone, and then I head back to sleep. I'm still aware that I'm awake. I just close my eyes. Then 30 minutes of my eyes shut, I quickly get in a sleep paralysis again. But this time I was aware that I'm awake. Clearly I couldn't move that night. I wasn't bullshitting myself. I just wanted to open my eyes, but I couldn't. Then I forced my body to move. I could still feel my arm and legs, but I couldn't move it. Like my head was battling my body. In my head, I kept saying, "Open your eyes, goddammit. Move your arms and legs," but my body refuses. Then suddenly, I could feel something or someone is pinning down my body. Both my arms were pinning down my chest, and my chest was so heavy that at the moment, I was afraid, but at the same time, I didn't settle down without a fight. I continued my struggle to move. I was putting so much effort to move my body, until I managed to move a single finger on my right hand, and my body was relieved. But then the paralysis strikes again. I know the situation was hopeless, but then I suddenly thought that I was laying on the couch. I quickly moved to my right side. I was desperately trying to make my body fall from the couch, and then my right leg falls from the floor and my eyes quickly open. I was exhausted that night, and I wanted to cry so much, but I keep it to myself. The room was eerie and silent. I didn't bother to open the lights that night. I just head back to my room and didn't sleep easily that night. This week had been hard for me, and telling this experience is hard enough for me and terrifying. I still keep my courage and bravery on the line. Like, I want to believe demons are real, but at the same time, I'm putting my tough act from not believing on it. I hope this will end soon. Maybe a medical seek will help, but honestly, I feel relief to let it out on my head.